What is up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast, here to go over UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. We are back. After not uploading on the channel for about 4 weeks, we are back for UFC 314. I've been out of town like crazy. My schedule has been nuts, and I couldn't have uploaded, throughout those weeks, but now we are back. I'm back home, and I'm excited to break down these fights, man, because in the last 5 weeks, we've made profit on 4 of the 5 events. So far in 2025, there's been 12 cards that we have bet on, and our record's 7-4-1 on those cards, making profit. So hopefully we can keep getting these good reads, keep making some good bets, and keep the good times rolling, man. I really appreciate everyone that subscribed to our channel. We actually gained a couple subscribers throughout our long break, of not uploading. Really appreciate you guys. So I'm excited to break this fight down. This whole card is going to be a banger, and I'm excited, to try to win some bets on this card for you guys. So without any further ado, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get right down to it. In the very first fight of the night, we have a women's bantamweight fight between Nora Cornolle and Hailey Cowan. Nora comes in as a -175 favorite, while Hailey comes back as a +145 underdog. For me, my best bet in this fight is for Nora to win this fight via decision. I am picking her to win this fight, and I think she does it via decision because, in my opinion, Hailey's only chance to win this fight is to spam the grappling. She definitely needs to get these takedowns. She definitely needs to get these cage push minutes, and top control minutes against Nora Cornolle, because on the feet, I do think that Nora is the better striker. Hailey actually isn't a bad striker in her own right. Like, she's not bad on the feet. She throws a lot of good kicks. Both these girls actually throw a lot of good kicks, but I feel like her best path to victory will be to utilize the grappling here, mix both those in, level change in this fight. I just don't think that she can do that for 2 out of the 3 rounds in this fight. I expect Nora to be the fighter in this fight, landing the more damaging strikes, looking like the more physically imposing fighter in this fight, and I expect her to win this decision. I expect this fight to go over 2.5 rounds. I expect the judges to get involved in this fight and read the scorecards at the end of this fight. And then another thing, Hailey Cowan's coming off a huge layoff, man. She's actually very inactive just in general. She got her Dana White Contender Series contract a little over 2 years ago, and since then she's only fought once. She's dealing with some outside the octagon issues, with the law and her husband. If you want to look it up, go ahead. But for the most part, yeah, man, she's coming off a huge long layoff. A lot of it coming from the outside the octagon issues, and she had to switch gyms. So you're coming off a long layoff, you had to switch gyms, you're dealing with all these issues outside the octagon, and besides that, I'm not really high on her in general. Even if she was active and fighting all the time, I just don't think she's very skilled as a fighter. She's pretty average everywhere, and I mean, so is Nora. She's not like a world beater either. I don't expect either of these girls to ever be ranked, but I do think that Nora is the more skilled fighter in this fight. I believe that she's going to be defending the takedowns and maintaining space, and from there outpointing Hailey to a decision here. So for me, my best bet is for Nora Cornolle to win this fight via decision, and honestly, you're probably not getting that much of a different line from her money line. Who knows? If there's a finish in this fight, I do expect it to be from the Nora side. I definitely don't think that Hailey Cowan's going to finish this fight, whether it be submission or knockout, so I do think it goes to the cards, and from there, I expect Nora to win this decision on the judges' scorecard. So give me Nora Cornolle to win that fight via decision. And up next, we have an exciting middleweight fight between Tresean Gore and Marco Tulio. Sipping Don Julio, acting a Fulio. Shout out to Marco Tulio. And this is an exciting fight because both guys are very dangerous, man. I know Tresean Gore is a huge underdog in this fight. He's coming in at +280, while Marco Tulio comes back at -380. And that's wide, man. Tresean Gore definitely has finishing upside in this fight, or not upside because Marco's a finisher himself, but just in general, if he were to win, I would expect it to be a finish from Tresean Gore. He loves his front, head choke series. He loves that guillotine, and it's powerful, man. He almost took Josh Fremd's neck off. I remember I had Fremd in that fight, and Tresean Gore snatched up a nasty guillotine, and I thought he was going to kill him. Like, I thought he was going to break his neck in that guillotine, man. This guy is powerful. He's super jacked, super muscular. But when he's striking, man, he's super low output. He kind of reacts so much. Like, he's very much so a reactionary striker. He wants you to go first, and then from there he'll go. He's not very fluid. I believe he's a little bit stiff, at least from what I see when he fights. He's a little bit green too, so he doesn't have that much experience. Only 8 professional MMA fights, and he's fighting a real dangerous fighter here. Marco Tulio is finishing everybody, man. This guy's exciting. He can submit you, he can knock you out, and he's just going forward, bringing you into the fight. He wants to brawl. And he's exciting, man. He's out there in Brazil with the shooter box guys. He's dating Nora Dumas. Shout out to him for that. But yeah, man, I just think that he's a better fighter in this fight. I think he's going to win this fight. I think that he's going to, touch up Tresean Gore throughout this fight. If it's just a 15-minute striking fight, I like Marco to win that fight. If Marco decides to, implement the takedowns here in this fight, obviously Tresean Gore has a very dangerous front head series, front choke series that he has to watch out for. But man, I don't see Tresean Gore submitting this guy. I think Marco Tulio finishes him. I think he finishes him in that first or second round via knockout. yeah, man, there's a lot of things that I don't like from the Tresean Gore side. The low output, the fact that he doesn't really throw first in any exchanges. He kind of waits too much. Yeah, and he's green, man. He's slow, not that fast. The speed's not there, but he's explosive. He definitely is explosive for sure. He's powerful. If he hits you clean, man, he can knock anybody out. Kind of reminds me of Walking Buckley, but way worse. But yeah, man, give me Marco Tulio here. I will say that line at minus 380 is a little bit wide. Like, dang, man, you'll never see me, betting him straight up 3.8 units to win one. I just don't like getting involved in those type of lines, but I do feel that he wins this fight. I do think that he finishes this fight. So give me Marco Tulio to win this fight via first or second round knockout. And up next, we have a very good fight in the flyweight division. We have Sumudaerji taking on Mitch Raposo. Sumudaerji comes in as a minus 175 favorite, while Mitch Raposo comes in as a plus 145 underdog. Now, there was a couple underdogs, and there still is a couple underdogs on this card that I was thinking about betting and maybe even picking here. He is one of them. Mitch Raposo is one of them. I like the grappling from this kid, man. He definitely needs to grapple in this fight because that's his best path, man. Sumudaerji is a dangerous striker. He's super long and super deadly with his strikes. He can one-touch you at any moment in the fight, and we've seen him kind of get exposed in the grappling. Like, I'm not really all that impressed, especially off his back from Sumudaerji. He likes to go for his sweeps. He likes to go for his reversals. But I just don't know, man. Like, if you're fighting someone like Mitch Raposo, who's very small for the division, low, short, center of gravity type guy who's going to be shooting takedowns. But that's the thing with Mitch, man. His, outside the UFC tape isn't the best. He's on the Ultimate Fighter and everything, but like outside the UFC, I've seen him grapple, and there's times where he's, shooting takedowns against the cage, trying to get guys down and pulling them off the cage, and he himself is ending up on bottom, and you never like to see that. But I do respect his ability to mix in both the striking and the grappling here. So I was thinking about maybe, betting on Mitch Raposo at plus 145. I don't think that's a terrible line. At minus 175, the books are giving, Sumudaerji a 63% chance to win this fight. And I kind of agree that that's right around where it should be, man. Sumudaerji, way more experience, has fought higher level guys. He's super durable. He could take a punch for sure. And Mitch, to me, is just a little bit unproven. But I will say, guys, this happens often where a guy will not look that great, right? You're watching tape, you're watching the guy, and it's just not really impressing you, right? He's not blowing everyone out the water or anything. But he's young. Like, he's super young, green in the UFC still. And so it wouldn't shock me to see him, improve throughout his tape. So, like, there's times where you're watching tape and the guy comes in, they look a million times better than what they did on tape. Like, they look really improved, right? So someone like Mitch Raposo, so young in his career so far in the UFC, only 26 years old, it wouldn't shock me, to see him look very good in this fight. It's a tough matchup, though. He is small. He's 5'5", kind of small for the flyweight division in general. But like I said, that actually might help him here because he's so short, so like has such a low center of gravity. Him shooting these takedowns, it might be easier for him since he's so small. It's going to be tough, though. Like, at least in my opinion, if Mitch doesn't wrestle and just decides to strike for 15 minutes, he's given himself, a bad chance to win. If he decides to mix it in, and shoot these takedowns, who knows? Maybe he does get them. Maybe he does pass guard. Maybe he does get top control minutes. Maybe he does, secure around that way. It's going to be tough, man. This is definitely a tough fight for Mitch. I think Sumudaerji can crack him at any moment in this fight. But I do agree with that line. I do agree that minus 175 is about where it should be. And like I said, it wouldn't shock me to see Mitch Raposo come in this fight and look better than he has so far on tape. I know he's a young guy. He's improving throughout. And so I wouldn't be shocked to see this guy improve in this fight. But I don't know, man. I feel like it's too reliant on the fact that he has to wrestle. He has to mix it in. And I feel like you're kind of depending on someone's game plan a lot, if you're betting him, that way. It's tough, man. A lot of times guys out there don't go out and take the easiest path to victory. Sometimes they just want to impress the fans and, put on a show on this pay-per-view. So, man, it's tough. I'm going with the more experienced guy, the bigger guy in this fight, the dangerous striker in this fight. I'm going with Sumudaerji to win this fight via decision or late third round finish. But I do think it goes all 3 rounds, and I think that Sumudaerji is going to be defending takedowns throughout this fight. But even so, I think he gets space. I think he down blocks. I think he defends. And, yeah, I think he takes the decision on the card. So give me Sumudaerji to win that fight via decision. But I'm excited to see how Mitch Raposo comes out and looks in this matchup. And up next, we have a middleweight fight between Sedriques Dumas and Michał Oleksiejczuk. Dumas comes in at plus 165, while Michał comes in at minus 195. And I feel pretty confident in Oleksiejczuk to win this fight. I like him as a striker. I've bet against him multiple times in the UFC. I've won on him. I've won against him. I'm pretty familiar with this game. But Sedriques Dumas, to me, is very athletic, man. He's a very explosive guy, super long, and super fast. Like, this guy likes to mix in both the grappling and striking. He's not just a striker. Michał, on the other hand, is more so of a striker. He's definitely going to want to strike with Sedriques. I don't expect Michał to be mixing in the grappling in this fight at all. But one thing that really makes me confident in Michał to win this fight is his ability to shoot shoot punches, to throw punches to the body. I mean, this guy is ripping people's rib cages. Like, this dude loves to mix it in. He is quite hittable, but he does have a lot of power, man. This guy has fought a weight class above at light heavyweight, which was definitely not the smartest thing to do. He is small for that weight class. Middleweight is 100% the weight class he should be in, and to see him come in at minus 195 against someone like Sedriques, I like it, man. I think he wins this fight. I think he can hurt Sedriques throughout this fight. Sedriques is long, tall, young, and explosive, but I just don't think that he's the same caliber of fighter as someone like Michał. And like I said, throughout the fight, I think the body shots from Michał will, be good investments throughout the fight. I think the more he does it early, the more it's going to pay off late in this fight. Give me Michał to at least at some point hurt and rock Sedriques, and I think he actually gets him out of there in that third round. If not, I think he wins a decision on the cards. So far, not a lot of violence that I'm picking so far on this card, but I think it is going to tick up as we go along. But this fight, it wouldn't shock me to see Michał finish Sedriques. I'm interested to see how Sedriques approaches this fight. He is, like I said, super tall, long, and rangy, but he does grapple, so it's not like he just struck for 15 minutes in this fight. So I want to see how Sedriques approaches this fight as far as his game plan, but overall, I got to go with the guy with more experience, has fought higher level fighters, has way higher level of wins, strength of competition, and just overall more of a sophisticated striker in Michał. So give me Michał, third round finish or decision. Oh, man, and up next, we have a fight between two low-key legends in the game. We have a fight between Darren Elkins and Juicy J, Julian Erosa, man. Shout out to Juicy J. Elkins comes in as a massive underdog, plus 300, while Juicy J comes in at minus 400. So right away, I got to talk about that. That's kind of crazy, man. When this fight got announced, I was like, oh, that's gonna be carnage, man. This fight's gonna be nuts. People are gonna be bleeding like crazy in this fight. But then I saw the gambling line, the money lines here, and I was like, whoa, man, they're not giving Elkins any chance to win this fight, and that's a little weird because Elkins can take down pretty much anybody. He's definitely gonna try to grapple in this fight. If he just decides to strike with Juicy J, the 6'1" featherweight here for 15 minutes, man, he's not the smartest guy. We've seen Juicy J kind of accept getting taken down. This guy loves jumping guillotine, which I do not like, especially if I'm betting on a fighter. It's cool when you get him. Shout out to Tresean Gore for almost killing Josh Fremd earlier on the card. But man, it's just such a low chance move to finish that guillotine. Especially in 2025 in the UFC. It's kind of surprising people are still getting caught in guillotines, at least in my opinion. But in this fight, Darren Elkins will be trying to grapple. He's going to be trying to wrestle Julian in this fight, and it's the question of how does Juicy J kind of accept that? Is he going to accept bottom? Is he going to accept, okay, I'm taken down, now I got to work off my back, trying to get a submission off his back? Does he lose minutes, and compile a lot of minutes for Darren Elkins to have top control here in this fight? And he won't be looking minus 400, I'll tell you that much if that happens. But for me, man, I'm going Juicy J. I think he wins this fight. I think he's going to hurt Darren Elkins on the feet. The thing with Darren Elkins, guys, is he has a ton of scar tissue on his face, man. He has, all of his face is scar tissue, so he gets cut super, super easily. And, man, Juicy J's volume is insane, man. He's going to be throwing like crazy. Right here on the screen, you can see significant strikes landing per minute. He's at 6.18. This guy's landing a significant strike pretty much every 10 seconds. He is throwing like crazy. Legend, right? So, I don't know if legend's the right word, but he's a veteran, man. Respect to this dude. Both of them, honestly. Both of them are super durable. Both can take a punch. Both have been through a ton of wars. And to see Juicy J coming at minus 400, that's kind of surprising to me because I do think that Darren can get takedowns, man. We've seen it in Juicy J's games where he's just accepting getting taken down too often. But I don't think it's going to cost him in this fight, man. I think he gets him out of here. I think he knocks out Elkins. I don't know if it's going to be like a flash knockout, on his back, the ref pulls him off, or if it's going to be a attritional damage, cutting him up, landing damage, and it's not going to be looking good. I definitely think that Juicy J is going to be landing a ton of damage on Darren Elkins, and I don't like the fact that Darren Elkins gets cut early, wears damage badly, in my opinion. And yeah, man, basically Darren Elkins has to wrestle. If not, he's going to lose this fight 100%, at least in my opinion. I probably shouldn't be talking like that. Nothing's guaranteed in MMA or in sports in general. But, man, I love me some Juicy J Erosa here. Give me Juicy J. He can submit this guy. He can knock him out. He can win a decision. I feel pretty comfortable that Juicy J wins this fight. Minus 400, though, I just hate those lines, guys. Crazy things have happened in MMA. It happens all the time. People roll their ankles walking into the cage. Anything can happen. He can get taken down, controlled for 3 rounds. Wouldn't shock me. I just don't think it's going to happen, guys. Give me Juicy J to win this fight against the 40-year-old Darren Elkins, to cut him up bad, to have this guy bleeding, and for Juicy J to win that fight via knockout in that second round. Ooh, and up next, we have a banger in the lightweight division. We have the legend Jim freaking Miller taking on Chase Hooper. I couldn't say the real nickname because we're on YouTube right now. But yeah, man, Jim Miller, the most fights in the UFC. This guy's a legend. Been on UFC 100, was on UFC 200, was on UFC 300. This guy is still hanging around, still fighting on pay-per-views. Shout out to him, man. Problem is, he's 41 years old, coming in at plus 500 against Chase Hooper, who comes in at minus 850. Chase Hooper is 25 years old, 6'1" at lightweight. Kind of crazy, man. This guy is huge for the lightweight division. Kind of crazy he was used to fighting at 145, right? So Chase Hooper, a classic case of growing up inside the UFC. Kind of reminds me of Charles Oliveira in that way, where in the even Raul Rosas Jr., in the UFC super early as a teenager, and you're just not ready, man. You're just not ready as a grown adult male to be fighting other grown adult males when you're 18 years old. They're gonna hurt you, man. And obviously 145 wasn't his weight class. He definitely had to go up to 155. Who knows? Maybe by the time his UFC career is done, he's at 170, because he is big, man. 6'1", 155 pounds. You don't see that out very often. And he's dangerous, right? So he has good striking. And when he first came to the UFC, his striking wasn't that good. He was more of a jiu-jitsu player. But man, like I said, he's grown up in the UFC and he's improving, man. I know he doesn't look like the most physically imposing guy. He's got the curly hair, kind of a nerdy, type vibe. Man, he's dangerous. This guy can hurt you. He can outstrike strikers. He can out-grapple grapplers. He's good everywhere, man. So at one point, I was kind of low on Chase Hooper, but man, he's opened my eyes for sure. I really like this kid. I really like what he brings to the table. And in this fight, man, Jim Miller, I just think he's too outmatched. He's coming off taking a ton of damage against Bobby Green. And that's the story with Jim Miller, man. This guy can walk through fire just to get you, man. He'll go through a war just to land one back. And I don't know if that style is sustainable. I mean, clearly it's not, right? So he's losing all these fights and he's super old. He's kind of just fighting for the love of the game at this point. And 100% Chase Hooper is put in this spot to hurt Jim Miller and finish Jim Miller and get another win, right? So he's coming off beating Clay Guida, Chase Hooper, that is, another old veteran fighter. And now he's fighting Jim Miller, another very old fighter. I think he is the oldest, or one of the oldest guys on the roster. I think Vince Pichel, who fought a couple weeks ago, is the oldest fighter. But Jim Miller is up there, man. 41 years old, still kicking it, still throwing. He's a good striker, kind of a generalist, decent striking, decent power, honestly. Good wrestling, good counter wrestling as well. But I just think Chase Hooper, too much of an athlete, too young, too fast, and too many winning up paths here. I can see him taking Jim Miller down, controlling him, submitting him. I can see him just standing on the feet, keeping range, and hurting Jim Miller for 15 minutes. I really don't see how Jim Miller is going to win this fight, other than getting a flash knockout on Chase Hooper from Chase Hooper being reckless in the pocket. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I think Chase Hooper wins this fight. I think he submits Jim Miller at some point in this fight. I'm going to go with a second round submission. I think he gets it back. I think he gets the backpack. I think he gets a rear naked choke locked in. Give me Chase Hooper to win this fight via submission in that second round. And up next in the women's strawweight division, we have Xiaonan and Virna Jandiroba. Yan comes in at plus 125, while Virna comes in at minus 150. And I like both these girls, man. I've bet on both of them. I've faded both of them. I'm pretty familiar with both of them at this point in their careers. And classic case of, you can pretty much sum this fight up between the classic, striker versus grappler, right? Obviously the Chinese woman here, Yan, being the striker, and the Brazilian girl, Virna, being the grappler. Yeah, that's basically what it is. On the feet, I like Yan. Yan's a better striker, 100%. She's very good on the feet. I actually am higher on her than I feel like a lot of people are. She got worked by Hailey, but obviously Hailey worked her with her grappling. Yan's dangerous. She's super long on the feet, but the gap in the striking, in my opinion, goes to Yan. Like, she's the better one. But the gap in the grappling is far bigger than the gap in the striking here. Virna is 100% the better grappler, and she is going to destroy this girl on the mat. If Yan can successfully defend the takedowns and successfully defend the submission attempts from Virna, I will be impressed. I'm expecting her to get worked on the mat here. I'm expecting Virna to get a takedown in every round at least once, and from there the round will be over. She reminds me of someone like a GM3 or a Paul Craig, where it's not so much she's shooting takedowns like Khabib or Islam and getting you down in the open mat. It's more like she chains. She goes and she gets denied. But then she gets denied on a double, goes to the single, she goes to a high cross, she runs a pipe. She's not just a one-dimensional shooting the open mat wrestler. If she gets you against the cage, man, good luck. If you're in the clinch against this girl and I'm betting against her, man, I'll be sweating, because in the clinch she can drag you down, and from there she's definitely going to try and submit you. Man, the jiu-jitsu from Virna is high level, guys. One of the best, women grapplers in the UFC, and the fact that we have seen Yan get exposed in the grappling realm throughout her UFC career, whether it be Yan or Darren or whoever it may be, man, she's getting exposed big time, and she's never really improved in that area of her game. And I 100% think that the grappling ace here in Virna is going to be the one winning this fight. So give me Virna Jandiroba to submit this girl Yan, if not win a control-based decision. But I think that she gets a sub, man. I think that she gets the takedowns here early in that first or second round, and then gets this girl out of here. On the feet, though, guys, like when this fight starts, you're going to be like, what the hell? How was the Brazilian girl minus 150? Because in the beginning of the fight, Jan's going to be looking good. She's very good output, very good speed, very technical with her striking. She mixes in both kicks and boxing combinations, and she's good on the feet, 100%. But yeah, I'm telling you, once Virna gets her hands locked, once she grabs this girl, gets her to the mat, once Jan's shoulder blades are on the mat, once her back is on the mat, man, it's going to be one-way traffic. At least on my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. But I'm going with the Brazilian here. I'm going with Virna Jandiroba to win this fight via submission in that first or second round. Man, I haven't done a video in forever, and I can tell I'm just talking so fast, man. It's just so funny. Every time we record, for some reason, I just start talking like crazy fast. Let me know in the comments what you think. But yeah, up next, we have a banger of a fight in the featherweight division. I believe it's the last prelim. Yeah, the feature prelim here before the pay-per-view starts. We have Dan Ige taking on Sean Woodson. Ige comes in at plus 140, while Sean Woodson comes in at minus 170. Now look at this right here. Look at your screen. Dan Ige 5'7", Sean Woodson 6'2". Dan Ige 71-inch reach, Sean Woodson 78. And this is not uncommon. Sean Woodson's an enormous featherweight. This guy is 6'2", fighting at 145. It's just crazy, man. He just drapes over all of his opponents. He's super tall, super long, and he's hard to hit because of that, man. Like, this guy has really good striking defense, at least as of late. In the beginning of his UFC career, I believe he was much more hittable, and then now he's kind of improved his striking defense, his lateral movement, his footwork. He's not putting himself in bad spots in exchanges, and that's going to be important in this fight, guys. We talked about earlier, Mitch Raposo was one of my underdogs I was looking at, but Dan Ige, man, he is at the top of my list of some of the underdogs I really am getting close to betting on or even picking here. So Dan Ige, he loses to like the top guys. He loses the Diego Lopes of the world, the Leroy Murphys of the world, the Josh Emmets of the world. You know what I mean? Even Bryce Mitchell, who's later, on this card, like he's losing to the top guys. And to me, I don't really view Sean Woodson as that. But also, man, just the way the fight should play out, I feel like Sean Woodson, well, I know Sean Woodson has more output. He has way more volume, and I always like betting and picking guys who I know at least are going to throw, right? I never like really relying on guys that are counterpunchers or just low volume in general. That's not a good attribute you want to have when putting your money on someone, and that's Dan Ige, man. It's weird because Dan Ige is skilled, dude. Like, he has power. He's very crisp with his boxing combinations. He's very tight. He can wrestle a little bit. He's not the best grappler. He can get taken advantage of in the grappling. And I was watching that Bryce Mitchell fight back, and he had Bryce Mitchell down. He was in Bryce Mitchell's guard against the cage, and I've never really seen this, but Bryce Mitchell somehow gets the body lock on his back while Dan Ige was on top. It was like a weird sequence where I'm like, okay, how's this happening? I mean, don't get me wrong, Bryce Mitchell's a very good grappler, but I was like, whoa, man, that's not a good look. And what's really weird about Dan Ige is that he used to be Ali Abdelaziz's assistant, with Dominance MMA. So he was around Khabib and Islam and Umar and all these Dagestanis for years and years and years. But you can't really tell by watching him fight because he gets out-grappled all the time. But he hits hard, man. He can crack anybody. And that's what I worry here for Sean Woodson. I worry that at some point he's going to get clipped by a big shot by Dan Ige. And if anything, I wouldn't be shocked to see Dan Ige try to shoot takedowns here. But that's one thing you guys should know about Sean Woodson. His takedown defense is historically high. He has, I believe, an 83% takedown defense. And that's good, man, because you would assume someone at 6'2" at 145 can get taken down easily. I mean, there's not a lot of leg, muscles here. This guy is like a straight line, and then his chest. Like, he has no legs. It's crazy. So the fact that he can defend takedowns is actually very impressive to me. But man, 6'2", he's so long and rangy. It's hard to get in that pocket. It's hard to get close enough to land on this guy. So I really struggle to see Dan Ige, who is already low volume in general, landing, and outpointing Sean Woodson in this fight. The way I see this fight going is Sean Woodson, if it goes to the cards, probably does win a decision. But I will say, I think Dan Ige has a chance to finish this fight at some point if Sean Woodson gets reckless and just isn't, on his toes the whole fight, because Dan Ige has to go for that knockout punch because, like I said, I don't think that he can keep up on the striking total with Sean Woodson because, for one, Sean Woodson's historically good at throwing volume. He's done it in all of his fights. Right there on the screen, you can see strikes landed per minute is at 5.66. That's obviously higher than Dan Ige's. But then you have Dan Ige, who has fought the way higher level competition, only seems to be losing against high level guys. And when you give him a step down in competition, he crushes guys. He's knocking people out cold. Man, this is a tough one, guys. Ultimately, though, I am going to go with Sean Woodson to win this fight via decision. I believe that's the best bet for this fight. But, man, I'm telling you guys, Dan Ige is one of the underdogs that I'm thinking about betting on. I can't outright pick him because I do think that it's going to go all 15. And I do think that if that happens, that means that Sean Woodson probably won the fight. He just throws too much volume for Dan Ige to keep up with. And who knows, maybe the volume output will be the Sean Woodson's downfall because he gets caught in a counter exchange here. Who knows? I can see it happening. But, man, I'm going with Sean Woodson. I'm going with Sean Woodson to win that fight via decision. I'm super excited for that fight. And now it's time for the main card, guys. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about my picks so far. And who do you have winning, man? So let me know your picks in the comments. We have up next, kicking off the pay-per-view, we have a light heavyweight fight between Nikita Krylov and Dominick Reyes. Krylov comes in at minus 190, while Dominick Reyes comes in at plus 160. And I got to do it. I'm picking Dominick Reyes to win this fight. I haven't bet him yet. I don't know if I will, but I think he can win this fight, guys. That line, minus 200, minus 190 here on Krylov, I just don't know, guys. He's reckless, and he's super inactive as well. The thing with Dominick, man, is obviously the big worry is his chin, man. This guy got, after the John Jones, fight where he should have won, but he lost. I personally thought he won 3 out of the 5 rounds there, but after that, he went on a crazy streak of getting knocked out. I mean, he was getting knocked out cold, bad. The Jiri knockout, I can kind of give him a pass for that one because it was a crazy spinning knockout, in the clinch, spinning elbow. I mean, that's going to knock out anybody. You get hit on the side of the head with an elbow, you're going out, right? But the Ryan Spann knockout, guys, he got hit with a straight, I think it was a left jab, just a simple jab that you see all the time, and he went out like a ton of bricks, man. That was super surprising, especially because Dominick Reyes is like half Mexican. You would think he has like a really good Mexican chin, but no, it's definitely failed him, into the UFC. But since then, he took a long break, definitely, had to train and get better, and took just a huge break away from MMA and the UFC. Came back, got a really good win against Dustin Jacoby, who I view as a very high level striker. That was a good knockout win, a good finish for Dominick Reyes. And after that, you got Anthony Smith, who at that point was kind of a sponge, kind of a layup fight, but still experienced fighter, very good grappling from Smith, and he got him out of there. So I do think that he's corrected the mistakes. Obviously, the worry here is the chin, because he's going against Nikita Krylov, who finishes everybody, man. This guy hits hard as heck. This dude can knock you out at any moment of the fight. And the thing about Nikita is, he's going to bring the fight, guys. He goes forward kind of like a man. He does kind of remind me of a Jiri in the sense where, not so much like the crazy spinning stuff or like the types of strike he throws, because I do think that Krylov is a more sophisticated striker than someone like Jiri. Just the decisions, like the mindset that he has. He has like a very wild, man, going forward, kind of throwing caution into the wind, and he's trying to get this finish, man. He's throwing spinning head kicks, throwing spinning wheel kicks. He's headhunting, man. This guy goes for it. And I don't know, man. I think that Dominick Reyes can mix in some grappling here. I don't think that Nick Krylov, if he were to mix in some grappling, I don't think that he will have like an advantage. I think that Dominick Reyes can shuck him off, defend these takedowns, and get on his feet if he does get taken down. But I'm going with Dominick Reyes, man. I know he's 35 years old, getting up there in age, and that chin is definitely a worry, especially if you're going up against someone like Krylov. You would think someone with this much amount of power, this much, output, and just going forward recklessness will be bad for Dominick Reyes. But I have faith, man. For some reason, I feel oddly confident that Dominick Reyes is going to win this fight. I still have faith, man. I don't think he's completely washed. I think he continues his win streak here, his little 2-fight win streak, and I think he wins this fight. So at plus 160, I definitely think that line's off. If anything, I would give Nikita Krylov a minus 140 line, minus 150, not anything higher than that. I understand he's a good finisher. I understand Dominick Reyes' durability is definitely in question, especially in this fight. I'm going with Dominick Reyes, man. Let's go USA. Let's go Dominick Reyes. Let's go. I think he wins that fight via knockout in that second or third round. And up next, you have the people's main event between Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva. Bryce Mitchell comes in at plus 215, while Gene Silva comes in at minus 265. So right away, let's talk about that gambling line. Gene Silva's money line's been crashing, guys. It was around minus 330 a few days ago, so money is pouring in like crazy on Bryce Mitchell. And I believe that the idea behind that bet being made so often by all these people, all this money, is that they're looking at the grappling. There is definitely tape out there on Gene Silva, especially against, who was it? Oh, fuck, I forget the guy's name. Jourdain, I believe it was. Like, the grappling sequences were not good. Like, Gene Silva definitely did not look good at times in the UFC when the other opponents are trying to grapple him. He can't be taken down. He can't give up his back on the way up. And you definitely do not want to do that against someone like Bryce Mitchell, man. Bryce Mitchell is a high-level grappler. I know everyone wants to talk about the stuff outside the octagon and how dumb he is, which I agree with, man. This guy is one of the dumbest fighters, one of the dumbest athletes, really, in all of pro sports. But that doesn't mean you can't grapple, guys. He's a good grappler. He's a good wrestler. He knows what he's doing on the mat. I've seen him roll with the guys at B team, and he's giving them a good run. Obviously, he cannot strike with Gene Silva. Gene Silva hits like an absolute truck. He's putting everybody out cold. And one thing I like about Gene Silva is his athleticism, man, and how he can carry throughout the fight. He's not just a first-round explosive, looking like $1 million fighter and then fades type of fighter. I mean, he's keeping that explosiveness. He's keeping that quickness, that explosion. Like, he's keeping his power throughout the whole 15 minutes. So it's not like he only relies on that finish to come in early in the fight. If this fight drags on second and third round, man, I still think he could hurt Bryce Mitchell at any point in this fight. To see his line at minus 265, that's shocking because, like I said, it was way higher even a few days ago. So money's definitely coming in on Bryce Mitchell. And like I said, the pass there, 100% the pass there for Bryce Mitchell to win this fight. He has to grapple. He has to get this guy down, pin him down, control him, or even submit this guy. Because on the feet, man, he's going to get sent into another dimension. And I actually think that's what's going to happen. I feel like a lot of people are getting their, I guess, personal feelings, you can say, involved with this fight. They just think Gene Silva, Bryce said all that dumb stuff about Germany and their leader or whatever. And so now the UFC is punishing him by giving him the hardest hitting guy in the division, Gene Silva, which we know maybe it is true. But man, you guys got to think about, like, this guy can grapple. Like, yes, he's dumb. Yes, he's like a dumb hillbilly from Arkansas, but he can grapple, guys. And that's the thing with Gene Silva. If there's one thing you can point out, in his game that's a weakness, is that he's been taken down by inferior wrestlers than Bryce Mitchell. But I just don't think it's going to happen, guys. I think if he does get taken down, which I do expect to happen, I think he's getting out. I think he gets up. I think he gets a sweep, gets up, and then just lands damage on Bryce Mitchell. I just can't see Bryce Mitchell going 15 minutes here and not getting hurt by Gene Silva, man. We've seen Bryce Mitchell absolutely knocked out cold. Huge layoff, and man, I don't know, man. I just think Gene Silva's going to hurt him. Money's coming in on Bryce. I can see why, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Give me Gene Silva to win that fight via second round knockout. It's going to be awesome. And up next in the featherweight division, we have Yair Rodriguez taking on Patricio Pitbull. Yair Rodriguez comes in at minus 195, while Patricio comes in at plus 165. Now, for you guys that only follow UFC or don't even follow UFC that closely, you're wondering who Patricio is. He was actually a two-time division champion in Bellator, and now he's signed with the UFC, so this will be his debut fight against Yair Rodriguez in the UFC. Obviously, a two-time champion in Bellator, and he's good, guys. Patricio Pitbull is legit. At one point, he was one of the best fighters in the division, around the world, really. But I don't think that's the same guy. He's 37 years old now. He's getting up there in age. And I like Bellator. I like PFL. I like watching those fights. And I respect this guy. This guy is good. He can finish anybody, man. This guy has a ton of power, good grappling, good offensive grappling, and good defensive grappling. Man, this guy is a tough out for anyone to fight. He's skilled, has a ton of experience, has won a ton of high-level fights against high-level fighters. And like I said, he has very dangerous striking, very dangerous power, and good offensive grappling. But the thing with him is if you watch a few of his most recent fights, he's not really grappling as much. I don't know if he just doesn't want to. He just feels comfortable in his striking. But you definitely would like to see him trying to implement the grappling a little bit more, as of late. And it's against someone like Yair, I definitely think that he's going to have to grapple because Yair is very dynamic on the feet. He fights out of both stances. He's very quick with his kicks. He throws question mark kicks, which you don't really see that often. And, he's pretty big. 5'11" here against a 5'5" fighter. 71-inch reach for Yair against a 65-inch reach on Pitbull. Man, I like Yair. I think he's going to win this fight, but I do not like minus 195. Like, I think it's way closer than that. I think it's around pick'em. Like, this should be a pick'em fight. So to see 2-1 odds on Yair, you would think, dang, I have to go with Pitbull here at those odds. But I don't think he's going to win the fight, so I can't pick him. I can't bet on him because in my heart, I don't think he's going to win. I think that Yair outpoints him. I think he can hurt him at some point in this fight. Yair loves to go to the body with those kicks, and I think that will hurt Patricio throughout the 15 minutes in this fight. And I wouldn't be shocked to see Patricio not throw it a lot. If he comes out here and he's low volume, that honestly wouldn't shock me. But I do think that Yair will be circling a lot. I think that the guy going forward is going to be Patricio. I think that Yair is going to try to laterally move, and stay safe here, landing his shots, picking and poking on Patricio, and just trying to accumulate strikes on the strike total that way. I don't think he's going to be reckless trying to put on a crazy show like Michael Chandler or anything like that. And it's weird, guys. Like, the UFC signs this guy, a Bellator champion. Like, in your head, do they want him to win? Because obviously they're giving him a lot of good money. They're probably giving him 6 figures to make weight, another 6 figures to win. Or do they want him to lose, to make Bellator look bad? Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, we saw Chandler come in, obviously won against Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. We saw, who was it? I forget his name. MVP. MVP came in. They gave him Kevin Holland, and I picked Kevin Holland. I thought Kevin Holland was going to win, and he schooled Kevin Holland. Obviously, the UFC saw something there, and they gave him a good fight to win, and he looked great. Even against Ian Gary, he looked decent. Like, that was a close fight. So, these guys are coming over from other promotions. They're not bad guys. Like, the best fighters doesn't mean they're only in the UFC. There's great fighters all around the world in other promotions. They just haven't gone to the UFC, and Patricio was one of them. It's just now he's past his prime. He's 37 years old. The time is now for him to win, make his UFC run. But I don't know, man. This is a tough fight. Give me Yair Rodriguez. Give me Yair to win this fight via decision. And I'm excited for this fight, man. Hopefully Patricio, if he wins, if I get this pick wrong, hopefully, it's an exciting fight. Hopefully he lands a big shot in Yair, but I don't see it happening, man. Give me Yair to win that fight via decision. Now it's time for the co-main event, guys. I can't wait for this one. We have Michael Chandler taking on Paddy Pimblett. Chandler comes in at plus 125, while Paddy Pimblett comes in at minus 150. Man, where do I start with this one? So I'm a big anti-Michael Chandler guy. I don't think he's very good. He's 2-4 in the UFC. He's knocked out Tony Ferguson. He's knocked out Dan Hooker. But the thing with Chandler is that he must be the worst fighter to bet on. I mean, if you bet on this guy, he could win. Like he's fighting fights where he definitely has the advantages to win these fights, but then he just does this thing where he's more of a showman, guys. He doesn't really care about the belt, even though he does say he does. He's always talking about trying to climb the mountain and get Islam or whatever, but he just makes dumb fight IQ decisions in the fight that are more so tailored toward giving the fans a good show, doing the double slam on Oliveira for no reason, getting the body lock tied in, even tighter, like not wrestling early in fights when he definitely should. Man, this guy picked up Dustin Poirier and dunked him like he weighed nothing. Like, and even that fight, I was watching the Dustin Poirier fight over again. And man, I remember I had Dustin. I'm a big fan of Dustin. I had money on him in that fight. That was close, guys. Like, it's another thing. Michael Chandler, you don't want to bet on the guy because he's not the smartest dude in there. But also betting against him is not fun either because he's so explosive. He has that wide stance, low center of gravity, and he's exploding, right? He's one of those fighters where when you're watching him fight, you're like, holy crap, this guy can sleep the dude I'm betting on here at any second. This guy can land a big shot at any second of the fight. And that's the thing with this fight, guys. I think Paddy Pimblett is super hittable, man. I don't think that Paddy Pimblett can take shots from Michael Chandler and not get knocked out. The thing with this fight is, though, Michael Chandler, 38 years old, crazy long layoff. He was trying to get that Conor McGregor fight for like over 2 years now, and obviously it didn't happen. So he's basically sidelined himself for no reason, other than maybe the small chance of getting that Conor fight, which never happened. So now you have a guy who's coming off a super long layoff, 38 years old, 2-4 in the UFC against an up and coming prospect here, almost bona fide title challenger here in Paddy Pimblett. Who do you think the UFC wants to win? They want Paddy Pimblett to win this fight, and he has the skills to do it, man. He rocked Bobby Green, submitted him as well in that fight, and he impressed me. I thought that fight was gonna look a lot closer, but man, he rolled right through him like it was a walk in the park. Paddy Pimblett, one of those guys who we talked about it earlier with Mitch. He's improving, like in front of our eyes. He is getting better and better each fight, which you love to see, right? He has a personality, he has a fan base, he has that country behind him. So obviously the UFC definitely would like for Paddy Pimblett to win this fight, and they're putting him against a winnable fight, in my opinion. I think that he can submit Chandler at some point in this fight. Chandler has absolutely zero jiu-jitsu. You can only wrestle. It was All-American D1 college wrestler, and if you don't know what that is, that means that you placed, you either got first, second, or third. You made it to the final day, and that's super hard, guys. But man, he's 38 years old. He's been cutting weight since he was like 18 years old, maybe even younger because he had to wrestle in high school. So the durability is the question. I think that Michael Chandler can get knocked out at any second, but I think that Paddy Pimblett himself also can get knocked out at any second. I'm actually going with Michael Chandler here. I'm going with Michael Chandler. I've never picked him to win a single fight in the UFC, and I swear, man, if the one time I pick him, he goes out here and gets dusted by Paddy Pimblett, someone who I like. I have a shirt of Paddy Pimblett, in my closet right now. I was on Embedded supporting him one time. UFC put me on because me and my boy went to the press conference. We had Paddy Pimblett wigs. We had the fake bellies. We had the shirts. They put us on Embedded. It was awesome. And if he goes out there and loses to Paddy after I picked him, man, I'm gonna dislike Michael Chandler even more, and I dislike him as it is right now. So I think he can win this fight. I think he can hurt Paddy Pimblett. I think he has the grappling to take down Paddy Pimblett. The big worry is the jiu-jitsu here and the durability from Chandler. The huge layoff is also a worry. But man, I'm telling you right now, like if I'm betting on Paddy Pimblett, I would feel like my heart would be racing early in that fight. Michael Chandler is not fun to bet against. He can knock you out any second. He was looking good against Dustin. He was looking good against Justin Gaethje. I mean, he's fought high-level guys. I know I kind of, dissed him for being 2-4 in the UFC, but all those losses are to really, really good guys. Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, like, this dude is fighting killers. Those are not Paddy Pimblett level fighters, at least in my opinion. So give me Michael Chandler, man. Give me Michael Chandler as an underdog at plus 125. Don't know if I'll bet him, but I think he can win this fight and really derail the train here of Paddy Pimblett. Who knows? Maybe Paddy Pimblett goes out there and just smokes him in one round, submits him, and I'll look super dumb. But give me Michael Chandler. Give me Michael Chandler to win that fight via knockout in that second round. I feel like all my knockout picks are always in the second round for some reason. Let me know in the comments what you think. But yeah, man, now it's time for the main event. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about my picks so far. We're getting back in the algorithm. We're back posting every week. Man, I'm excited, man. So yeah, in the main event, we have Alexander Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes for the featherweight vacant title. Ilia Topuria, the champion, moved up to 155. We kind of still don't know what he's doing, like who's going to fight. Probably Islam. But now there's no champion at 145, and in steps Volkanovski and in steps Diego Lopes. Super good fight, man. Super high-level fight between two super high-level fighters. Right now, Alexander Volkanovski, the former champion, comes in at minus 120, while Diego Lopes comes in at even money, plus 100. I have a bet on Diego Lopes. I put 1.25 units on him at plus 125 earlier in the week, and that money's coming down. I'm telling you right now, guys, Diego Lopes in this fight will close as a pick'em or a favorite. This will be minus 110 both ways, or if anything, Diego will be the favorite by the time the fight starts. I'm calling it right now. And I get it. And I like that move. I got a good line. I like the line movement. I already have a little bit of CLV here on Diego. And I think he finishes Alexander, man. And it's one of those things where I don't think Alexander sucks, man. I'm not sitting here thinking he's a bum and always watch. He's gotten finished, 3 times or whatever, or lost 2 out of 3, been finished twice brutally. And just write him off and he's some bad fighter, some bum. No, man. Like in my opinion, I'm actually always trying to defend Alex. I used to say when he was a champion that we're going to miss him as a champion. He's one of the best champions we've ever seen in the UFC. He was crazy active. He was crazy good, fighting legends like Max, beating him 3 times, beating Edgar. Like these guys, like he is good, man. Beating Ortega, like beating Yair. Like this guy has cleaned out the division. Obviously went up to fight Islam. And then he fought the pound for pound #1 fighter in Islam Makhachev and almost won that fight, guys. Obviously came back on short notice, got head kicked, got knocked out by Islam. And after that, he had to fight Ilia Topuria in his return to 145. Man, and Ilya did him dirty, man. That's the thing with this. I mean, it's one thing to get knocked out 2 times in a row, but the way he got knocked out that's what's really worried me, man. He's 36 years old now at 145, and I do not like backing that age at this weight class, especially at this high level of a fight. So I do have reasons to not like Alex in this fight. But like I said, he's skilled, man. The thing with Alex is that his style doesn't really lead to a lot of finishes now at this point. He's going to have to win a decision, which totally, capable. He's totally possible of winning a decision here. Very good striker, very good, solid defense. I mean, even against Ilya, I believe he won that first round, and then obviously got slept in that second. But it's just one of those things where when he gets his back against the cage, man, he is in danger. And I think that Diego Lopes can catch him. I like Diego Lopes to finish this fight. Let's go, Diego. So, very good striking, right? But the thing with Diego is I like his grappling, guys. I don't think that, Alexander Volkanovski is going to out-grapple Diego whatsoever. I think that he can take down Diego, but from there, I expect Diego to have the better of the scrambles. It's kind of crazy because Volkanovski's coach is, Craig Jones, and he actually grappled, toe-to-toe with Islam, man. There was times where Islam couldn't take down Alex. He was shooting on Alex and couldn't get him down. There was times where he did get him down, and Alex got right back up. He was fighting the hands against the cage. He is smart, guys. That's one weapon that he has that not a lot of people do. His fight IQ is off the charts. He's a very good gym, very good coaches. Frank Hickman, a great wrestling coach. Lopez, the striking coach, is very good. Craig Jones, obviously one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. But, man, it's just Diego's time. Sometimes it all comes down to there's a new wave, guys. Like, your favorite fighters can only be, at the top of the game for so long, and it's just the way the game goes. And I think Diego has everything to beat him here. I think he can land damage. I think he can match the volume here from Alexander. I think Alexander needs to point fight in this fight. I think he needs to win a 5-round decision to win this fight. I don't think he can finish Diego. I believe that Diego has all the heart, all the durability that he needs to win this fight. And I just think that he's going to land a big shot and knock out Volkanovski with the right hand. We all saw what he did to Ortega, man. That was crazy. I've never seen a guy get knocked out and then on the way down get punched again and get woken up. That's exactly what happened to Ortega from Diego. Diego cracked him good. And he's just so crisp with his striking, man. He has very good hands. And his jiu-jitsu is really good, man. He's a very good grappler. And so I got to go with Diego, man. I got him at plus 125, put 1.25 units on him. And now that's even money. So I already did my job. I got a good line on him. But yeah, man, give me and new. Last thing I'll say is that Diego Lopes posted a picture of him doing work with David Taylor, man. I can go on and on about who David Taylor is. If you don't know, if you're not into wrestling, he's one of the best American wrestlers ever. Just a beast, national champion wrestler, Olympian. And he's currently the coach at Oklahoma State's wrestling program, who obviously one of the top 5 programs in the country. And to see him working with David Taylor, that was just a random link up. I don't know how the story behind that. I hope someone asked him throughout Fight Week this week. But man, that went light bulb went off on my head. I was like, holy crap, dude! If he's working with David Taylor, are you serious, David freaking Taylor? We gotta go Diego, man. Volkan out-grappling this dude if he's working with David Taylor, no shot. So give me Diego, man. I can't believe he was working with David Taylor. That was insane to see, but I'm happy for him, man. I think he's gonna be new. I think he's gonna be finishing Volkanovski in this fight. So let's go Diego Lopes. Let's go new. So far he's my only bet, but make sure you keep an eye out on my Instagram. I'll be posting my bets for this card before the card starts, obviously. So yeah, man, thanks a lot, guys. We are back. We are back making videos. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you have in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.